Trying to control everything, trying to make decision of A or B is constantly having a lot of push and pull back and forth, and it can confuse the mind. One moment you want this, and then one moment you want this. It provides safety, it provides security. I mean, who would want to pick the other side knowing that it kind of hurts because you're constantly trying to find certainty and safety outside of your circle? The thing about Seneca, Stoic philosopher, he says we suffer more in our imagination than the reality. It's true. Let's say unlikely you get hit by a car. Afterward, you're gonna suffer a lot of pain. But when you imagine and you fear about getting hit by a car, now you suffer twice as much. The possibility that might happen, the possibility that you do not have control of. When we have certain feelings, now we add on to our own narrative. It becomes our own story. If you watch movie or you read books or you write a story, you know it's somehow it's connected, right? It does have this flow, which means it will more likely to apply on your own story. It's very hard to break that cycle and break that paragraph into a different story, because now you are heavily being drawn to this idea that somehow everything has this connection, that that person is a bad person, right? Or I failed 5 times, so therefore I am a failure and I will always fail in my life. That kind of narrative, it can stuck with you for a long time. Maybe that's how trauma is continued as well. When one does not heal their wound, when one does not even know what and where their wound is, they will always suffer, because you never know the problem and all you want to do is change. And where does this idea of changing come from? And it often comes from the people opinion. When we're younger, we don't have much idea and concept. We don't have much understanding and maturity. We don't really think for ourselves, so therefore we absorb everything from the outside world, our parents, our school friends, the environment, the culture. We don't realize how it can heavily affect us in the way we believe things, and maybe that's what they call internalized thoughts. I was to believe that positive, it's kind of like blinding you, and therefore I chose to be negative. You see how my hand is overexposed? So that's the concept of light and the yang, basically. It's not about positive equals to battle. I mean, if that's the case, why would people say having COVID it's positive, right? How does true optimism comes from? It is not about to push or to brush everything off, but is to accept that pain and suffering is part of human, and the balance, the coexistence is always in within human. The reason why we choose what we choose, it's not because just one thing is too good, but it's rather because we can accept the other side. Let's say you have a car and the car is so slow, but you can accept, because why? Your initial goal is to drive from point A to point B, and so you find more appreciation in the car. But basically you're accepting both situations, and that's how you feel more inner peace. Now I myself is not a expert, it's not like I'm truly enlightened, like no more suffering. And it's very easy to think someone is like that, like this guy thinks he knows better, but it's not true. I have studied a lot of philosophy and reflect on my own past self and my own action and everything else. But that doesn't mean I am enlightened or now I am sort of this perfect saint. I still make a lot of mistakes, I still struggle. The difference is I know the concept more and more. I like to connect dots. I like to reflect one to another, where a book is not related to a cup directly, but when you reflect to it, they do have this similarity where they are both external objects. They don't last forever. And that's how I tend to reflect things, and that's how I gain more wisdom by reflecting on the same past. In the past has always been haunting me for a very long time. I'm afraid to face it a lot of times. But now more and more I am gradually facing it, and in fact I found a lot of wisdom, and I gained a lot of wisdom and perspective from just just reflecting on one past. And I think sometimes the concept itself, it's not going to be enough. You have to live it. I think it's also an insight where I start to understand a little bit more. Maybe my journey isn't just about chasing the views or the sub, or even outside of YouTube. It's not about continue chasing for approval and validation, because fact is, when I keep chasing it, I will never reach to the point of satisfaction. I will always struggle again and again, just like how I chase for yin or yang. At the end, the circle will just rotate. It does not replace one or another. Even in yang, the white color itself, you can see the dots of black. That means that in all purity, there will not be 100%. There will always be the darkness, the stillness. Yin yang is not just about good or bad necessarily. Sometimes even yin with the black color, it's about stillness. It's about waiting, pausing, and reflecting as well. It's quite nice to talk like this just to myself and to whoever is watching. I start to realize maybe this is it. Maybe it was never about chasing for anything, but to live it. Because who am I without all these things, right? I can still be me. And I think maybe that's what matters the most. And one day if I die, at least I know I have tried and I have lived. Not being, it doesn't have to be successful or rich or, change the world. But sometimes it just means that I've lived a life. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that. We chase for a lot of things, then we put ourselves into early grave. And I just don't think it's worth it for me. And my video, it's only sharing and advice. It's not to tell you what you must do. But I do advise that always look inward and reflect on yourself. What part of you it's too much or too little. I have this quote recently that I want to share, which is, just as the darkness can blind you, so can the light. I kind of need to rephrase it so it kind of rhymes better. So as the light, yeah. And so it's all about balancing it. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.